Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That's Football. We've just had a fantastic lunchtime game. A fantastic lunch. Fulham against Liverpool, 2-2. Fair results. Maybe we'll delve into the bones of that because I didn't get time to do a match reaction because we're going live straight away back with this. And yet again, our third watch-along of the new season. And we've got loads of games kicking off at the same time today. We're going to feature Tottenham against Southampton as our stat reel game. So you'll see the lineups, they'll change. You'll see the stats and everything for that. We might be able to, I don't know. I'll ask Uncle Drawty. I don't know whether can we get other stats for other games in, or is that difficult? Okay, so we should be able to rotate stats from other games for you at different times, just to have a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on. Loads of games, lots to get into. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, smash a like. And obviously you're going to be involved in this as much as we are. Tottenham Southampton is our featured game on the reel, as I said, but we'll be able to keep you up to date with everything else as well. Let's just go through some of the games that we've got, and we'll start off with Tottenham Southampton. I mean, I watched Tottenham against Southampton last season, towards the end of last season, and Southampton played them off the park, and they deservedly beat them. But Spurs, Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Davies, Emerson Royale, and Sessegnon as their back five. Quite surprised Spence isn't playing. I don't know what the situation is with Longley either. Højbjerg and Bentancur, no Bissouma either. Kulusevski, Son and Kane. So he's basically gone with the team from last year. The bench has got Spence on it, Perisic on it, Forster on it, Mora, Longley, Bissouma, Sanchez, Doherty. So I don't know what Conte's up to there. Maybe somebody in the chat wants to let us know, but he's basically gone with his team from last year. I would have expected a few of the newbies to start. Richarlison is he injured or suspended? Maybe, I don't know. God knows about. I don't know where he is. Southampton: Basuna, Walker-Peters, Valerie, Saluso, Bednarek, and Genepo. Ward-Prowse, Romu, Labia, and then Ariobo and Armstrong up front. I'd expect Spurs to win that game, but that's how they're lining up. Suspended for Richarlison. That's always a good guess, I think. Yeah, look, I think it's quite interesting with Spurs not picking any of their new signings. No Perisic, obviously Richarlison suspended, no Spence, no Bissouma, no Longley. So is he being a bit loyal there to his players from before? I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but they're all on the bench for Spurs. They're all options to come on. Our other 3 o'clock games to keep an eye on. Of course, they're not kicking off for another 8 minutes, so we can just fill in here. Bournemouth against Villa. Now, Bournemouth against Villa is quite an interesting one because Bournemouth against Villa, if I say it again, Bournemouth against Villa. Bournemouth against Villa. I mean, Villa are the team that I've predicted will have a good season, a surprisingly good season, maybe even in the top 6. Don't know about that, but I think they'll have a good year. Bournemouth, I think, go down. So how has Gerrard lined up with his first team of the season? Well, we knew that he'd got rid of Mings as captain. He's got rid of him from his team. Martinez, Cash, Konza, Santos, Silva, Digne, McGinn, Kamara, Coutinho, Ramsey, Bailey and Ings. I quite like that Villa team, and if he gets it singing, I think it might be quite good. Mings is on the bench, Douglas Luiz on the bench, Bendia, Watkins, Ashley Young. He's got some good, I mean, look, it's not Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Spurs depth, but there is a bit of depth for Villa now. So keep an eye on them. They're playing against Bournemouth. Leeds against Wolves. Leeds obviously have made a few signings themselves. Bit of an unknown quantity this season, but Meslier, Christensen, Lorente, Koch, Struck, Rocker, Adams, Aronson, Rodrigo, Harrison and Bamford. They look a better team than they did last year. A few signings, a few players back from injury. Newcastle against Forest. This is a good one. A lot of people excited about this one. Newcastle: Pope, Trippier, Shah, Byrne, Targay, Gameres, Willock, Joel Linton, St. Maximum, Wilson and Almiron. I've got St. Maximum in my fancy Premier League team. I've also got Matty Cash as well. Forest: Henderson, Williams, Niakate, McKenna, Worrell, Toffolo, O'Brien, Colbeck, Lingard, Johnson and Surridge. So quite a changed Forest team there. Tottenham, Southampton we've spoken about, and that's our 4 games at 3 o'clock. So we'll be keeping an eye on those. Also, there's the Championship games, of course. We'll keep an eye on those for you as well. But yeah, excited. As you can see, we've got a bit of a reel going through of the teams that are playing today. There's Wolves lineup as well. I do have a fancy Premier League team, and I did all right. Salah did okay as my captain, so he's actually rescued me a bit. I need to log back on, actually, and I'll just tell you how I'm doing. So my points at the moment are as follows. I have got 30 points and I've had 4 players play. So that's not too bad. And I think I've still got some bonus points to come my way for Mo Salah, because I think he's going to get bonus points for the Liverpool game. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, Salah's going to get 2 bonus points for the Liverpool game. So I'll get another 4 points. So I'm on 34 points. Who've I got playing at 3 o'clock? St. Maximum's playing. Collins at Wolves. And Matty Cash. So I've got 3 players playing. I don't know whether Cucurella gets to play for Chelsea because he's in my team. I've got Mendy in goal for Chelsea. And then I've got Haaland and a couple of United players. Well, I've got Haaland and Sancho, actually. But if Cucurella doesn't play, I think Delo comes into my team. So I could have a steady start. And that's what you're looking for, isn't it? Could get a steady start. So let me remind myself, I've got St. Maximum, Collins and Cash playing today. So a couple of clean sheets for Villa and Wolves would be nice. And St. Maximum on a madness would be good as well. Anyway, players are looking to come out onto the pitch. You're very welcome. Thanks everyone for tuning in. 3 o'clock kickoffs. We'll update you with everything that's going on. We've got a league table and everything as well. And we'll be able to bring you these match stat boards for every game. If you want to have a look at a particular game, let us know and we'll get it up for you. But Spurs, very interested by Spurs. Going with the team. No new signings in it. No Spence, no Perisic, no Longley, no Basuma. I'm very surprised that none of those players have made it into the starting lineup. And, showing loyalty, I suppose, Conte, to the players that got him top 4 last year. And basically saying that, these players got us top 4. You're the new lads. You've got to work your way into the team. So there you go. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very, very welcome. It's looking good. And well done to Fulham. And get your topics in as well. I was going to say you can pick what takeaway I'm having, but the family's already voted. I'm having Chinese, so you can't vote in for that. So, yeah, thanks everyone who's watching. And I'm sure we're going to get some excitement. I always like to watch Match of the Day on the opening game of the season. So looking forward. I hope we get some good goals and some good games. It's amazing at the start of the Premier League season. None of you can lie. You're all massively into fantasy Premier League. You'll all watch Match of the Day tonight. You're all watching every bloody game you can. Give it 2 weeks and you'll drop off. You definitely will. But look, we're nearly at 724,000. We need to update that number, Draughty. We've gone up massively today. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Let's see if we can hit 724. We're on 723 today. Remember, we're going to be doing the World Cup, loads, Champions League, everything. You're all welcome on here. Very interactive. League tables, stats, lineups. It's all there for you. And get involved. But Liverpool, let's just talk very quickly about Liverpool before the matches start. Liverpool are in a situation where they've dropped 2 points today to Fulham. It's not the end of the world. Man City lost to Spurs on the opening day last year and they won the league. So it's not over for Liverpool by any means. But I was thinking about it and I did think, if you're a Liverpool fan, you've won the Community Shield, you look really good, and then opening game of the season's where it matters. And this is what I mean about pre-season. It's great if you can transcend pre-season into the main season and, we're looking brilliant in pre-season, but you can be absolutely shit in pre-season and then go and win your first 3 games. And ultimately, all pre-season is preparation. Pre-season preparation for the season. And that's drop points for Liverpool that they will be disappointed about. Thoughts on Dean Henderson's comments on United? Do you think it's appropriate since he's still under contract? Well, it's completely inappropriate and it's completely arrogant, but that is what Dean Henderson is like. He's very much his own number one fan, which is fine. But I'm glad he's at Forest, and but he might well be back at United in a year, and therefore he might have made himself, sounds to me like he wants to leave United. So I don't know why he hasn't bloody left. But because he's going to be back there next summer. Come on, Southampton, says Zane. I think Southampton could get a result here. I think they could. Do you want to just run the timer off whatever, Draughty? Because realistically, you may as well. Yeah. Because people will be watching it in many different ways. So we may as well just run it off that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in anyway. Predictions. There's so many games to predict, but I have already done my predictions yesterday. I think Villa will win at Bournemouth. I think Leeds and Wolves will be a draw. I think Newcastle will beat Forest, although that could be a shock. Tottenham to beat Southampton as well. So that's my predictions. I think we'll get 2 home wins, Tottenham and Newcastle, a draw with Leeds and Wolves, and I think Villa will win at Bournemouth. But I've said this before, Bournemouth could get a result. I mean, Bournemouth will be galvanised by Fulham, what they've done. So, you know, maybe Forest will as well. The newly promoted team's looking to get some points. So let's see what happens. But Spurs have definitely got a lot of options on the bench. Remember, you can make 5 substitutes as well. So, yeah, lots going off. All the games have kicked off now, by the way. No, they haven't. Bournemouth and Tottenham have kicked off. I don't think Leeds and Forest have kicked off yet, to be fair. Yeah, that's great. Good stuff. Man United to get top 3, says Tommy. We haven't kicked a ball, mate, yet. Oh, God, let me get rid of this twat in the chat. Sorry about that, everybody. Don't normally get many of them in there now. Some of you might figure out what I'm talking about. Don't Forest have a sponsor, says Santa G. Don't know. I don't know. Spurs have put out a weakened team. Well, they haven't put out a weakened team, Infinite. They've put out a team that got them to 4th place. I mean, I can sort of understand what he's doing, really, to be honest. What's your Chinese order, says KH? Oh, don't. I'm starving. I had such a small break between the Liverpool game and this. But I'm fancying a bit of Cantonese-style chicken tonight. Sweet and sour, yeah. I'm fancying a bit of that. Ronaldo will stay and win the Golden Boot, says Cronell. I hope so. Who will beat Southampton 9-1 this year? Well, one thing you can say about Southampton is that they will definitely get to a point where that will happen. That will definitely happen. They will definitely get beat badly at some point, Southampton. It always happens. Wear white shirt and Liverpool will choke, says Nabil. There's a goal for Bournemouth. I mean, I've jinxed Villa here. There is an early goal for Bournemouth. It has come in. I don't know whether we've got the scorer, but it's definitely 1-0. 1-0 to Bournemouth. I mean, we've always got to be careful of a VAR, but it's definitely 1-0 to Bournemouth. And we haven't got the goal scorer yet. But if anyone in the chat is watching that game, by all means, let us know, and we will confirm who has scored. Don't have the details at the moment, but looks like a goal has gone in. Boomer. Lerma with the goal. So Fulham with a good result against Liverpool, and now Bournemouth are 1-0 up here against Aston Villa. Goldbridge has jinxed again. I'm really sorry. All I can say is I'm sorry to Villa. I predicted you were going to be one of the breakout teams this season, and you're 1-0 down already. So Bournemouth with the first goal of the 3:00 games, and Lerma. Villa have got to come from behind again. Gerrard, you won't be very happy with that. Well, I do think Villa have got a good team. They've got a new centre back. Konza, I don't rate Mings massively anyway. Digne's a good acquisition, obviously, last season in January. Matty Cash is a good fullback. The goalkeeper's good. Martinez. I think they've got options in the midfield now with McGinn and Kamara and Ramsey and Luis. Coutinho's there full time. They've got options up front with Ings and Watkins and Bailey. So look, I quite fancy Villa to have a good season, but it's difficult, isn't it? These teams like Bournemouth, they're newly promoted and they're up for it. So there we go. Carlos is playing that. You are. All right. Spurs will finish 5th. They're not that good, says Petal. Marcus jinxed Villa. Sorry, Villa. Well, I've got Matty Cash at right back as well, so that's my clean sheet out the window in no time. I'm not doing the Chelsea game today, Andy. I probably would have done it, but I've got a new show on Talk Sport at 7:30 where it's like call Goldbridge. So I've got to do some prep for that. So I won't be able, it'd be too quick of a turnaround. But look, if you want to ring me up at 7:30 today, I'm on from 7:30 till 9 o'clock on Talk Sport. We're going to be on YouTube as well. Got any things you want to talk about from the weekend? Get involved. You could win Caller of the Day. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur, says Sonisi. Matty Cash is going to get sent off, says Amanchu. Cardiff are winning 1-0 if you give a shit. But the early goal, Bournemouth 1-0 up against Aston Villa. Who'd have thought that, eh? Jefferson Lerma fires the rebound low into the middle of the goal after the ball breaks free in the box. The score is 1-0. That's your update on that. Stats are on the screen for Bournemouth versus Villa. And the back for Tottenham versus Southampton now. 60% possession for Spurs so far early on, but they've not had a shot on goal yet. Wolves apparently 1-0 up as well with a goal from Podence. Now then, I think that's going to be true. I have got a Wolves defender. It is 1-0 to Wolves. It's Podence. You've got to be careful of VAR. You've got to be careful of VAR. But it is 1-0 to Wolves. Early goals going in the Premier League. This is all good. We want to see this. Podence for Wolves. Very much a team this season that, I don't know what people think in the chat. I think I couldn't predict what Wolves are going to do. I really can't predict what Wolves are going to do. They've got some good players, but it's hard to predict what they're going to do. I mean, look at their lineup today, Wolves. They've got... let me read it out to you. I'd like to read it out to you. There it is. Okay, so lineups. We've done the Leeds team earlier. Sarr, Otto, Collins, Kilman, Altnouri, then Donker, Neves, Podence, Gibbs-White, Neto, and He-Chan. I don't know what's happened to that striker that they had who wears the headband. What's he called? Jimenez. Is he injured? Traore, what happened to him as well? I'm sure he's still a Wolves player. You know, he went to Barcelona last year. There you go, chat. There's a question for you. What's happened to Jimenez and what's happened to Traore? Hey? What's going on there? I am doing a United Stand show. It'll be about 5:30, 6 o'clock tonight. There's quite a few things to catch up on. So Jimenez is injured, says Neva. Thank you very much for the updates in the chat. And Traore's injured as well. There you go. He is back at Wolves. Spurs starting off the better side against Southampton. The weird team, Southampton. Some people have got them predicting that they're going to get relegated. I can't see that. I really can't see them getting relegated. But I certainly think they'll be in the bottom half of the table, but I don't think they'll get relegated. Well, that forward for Wolves, he's very fast on FIFA. Hard team to predict, Wolves. Neb says, how can I watch this game? I don't know, Neb. Cannot advise you on that, I'm afraid. Leicester must play tomorrow against somebody. Who are Leicester playing tomorrow? Because they're not playing today. Must be the 2 o'clock game. I'm trying to think who's not played today. Mark, do you think the board and owners realise they can make more money by winning tournaments, trophies, and attract sponsors and players? Says Eddie J. I don't think they've realised that. You can't be talking about United. They haven't realised that. They're playing Brentford tomorrow, Leicester. There you go. Frank won more games at Everton than Stevie at Villa, says Paul Matt. If that's a true stat, that's a very interesting stat as well. Bournemouth are playing good football, says Rich Kid. Yeah, thank you everyone for all your updates. Appreciate that. I'm just going to change my platform. Southampton are the best, says England. What do you think of Kulusevski? I have in my fantasy team. I think it's a very good signing, Will. I think he will end up being a good signing as well. Apparently, Burnley are losing 1-0 if you care. Someone's got to care. Why won't somebody just care about Burnley? Come on. Poor old Burnley. Back in the big time, back in the Championship. Yeah, that'd be good. That would. How much will it cost us? I don't know about that at the moment then. Do you think Koulibaly will succeed in the Prem? Says Andy. I do like Koulibaly. I will be watching the game between Chelsea and Everton later, and I think Chelsea will win. But I just can't do a watch along for it because of the show I've got to do at 7:30. Hasenhüttl deserves a big move even after getting humiliated 9-0 to Leicester and United. He's doing a good job. I've always liked Hasenhüttl, to be fair. I think he's a good coach, but I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? Many a Southampton coach has gone on to better things. Saints, there is a goal for Southampton. A goal for Southampton. It's Ward-Prowse. Spurs are losing 1-0. I'm not watching it, as you can tell. I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. I'm not watching it at the moment. I was just trying to sort something else, but it's 1-0 to Spurs. Well, look, you know what? The Premier League is going exactly. I don't know why I try and predict against the Premier League. Actually, I've got no idea why I bother doing it because Bournemouth are beating Villa, which was the logical thing to predict, and Southampton going to Spurs and going 1-0 up is probably very predictable as well. And that's exactly what's happened. James Ward-Prowse with the goal, 1-0 to Spurs. And get some of your new signings on, basically. It's not. It wasn't a typical James Ward-Prowse goal. It's not a free kick. He's on the edge of the box. It sort of clears to the edge of the box, and he catches it on the half volley, volleys it into the ground, and it goes into the back of the net. People think it's rosy everywhere, except United, says Robert McCormack. Yeah, it's not, is it? Arsenal fans will be celebrating that. But James Ward-Prowse makes it 1-0 to Southampton in a very James Ward-Prowse way, or actually showing you that he can deliver goals in a different way. Spurs losing is the headline at the moment, as are Villa. 3. So how many goals have we got? 3 goals in the first 15 minutes. We'll have that. Have some of that, people. The Spurs have got to come from behind. Grizzly says Spurs doing Spurs things. Great day for small teams today, says Awoken. Well, maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe that's what you got to do if you're a small team. Play to your advantages. Get your fitness right for the opening day and try and catch some of these big teams out. Conte's about to go bold again, says Richter. And I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm not happy I have Romero in my fantasy team. Yep. Bournemouth are winning 1-0. We know that, Kian. Slow Sports News there from Kian. Yeah, we know about that. And Spurs are losing as well. Bournemouth 1-0 up at home to Villa. Southampton 1-0 up away to Liverpool. And currently Wolves 1-0 up away to Leeds. There's 2 good teams in the league. The rest are average, says Robert McCormack. Never back Spurs versus Southampton. It does seem to be a bit of a problem for them, to be fair. Spurs very poor, says Aaron. Well, the only thing I would say about Spurs is I'm quite surprised by the team that they've actually selected for this game today. I really thought he would have played some of his new players, but obviously that's not the case. He's gone with loyalty, I suppose, to the players from last time, and so far that's not working for Spurs, and they are 1-0 down currently. But I think that's a great comment in the chat there from Q. He says, as soon as I see Emerson Royale on the starting lineup, I panic. And the goal does come from his side. I think he's shit. I watched them. It might have been against Southampton. It was either Southampton or Wolves last year, and he was at fault for 3 goals. Spurs fans in the chat will be able to let me know, but he's rubbish. Like, Jed Spence should be starting. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. But anyway, 1-0 to 1-0 Bournemouth Villa, 1-0 to Wolves against Leeds. Still 0-0 between Forest and Newcastle. I don't know whether we can. I'll ask Strawty in a minute if you can just whack the stats up for Newcastle and Forest, just so we can get a bit of a glimpse of how that game's going. But at the moment, our featured game, it's 1-0 Southampton against Spurs. So we've got the stats for Forest trip to Newcastle just coming up on the screen after 15 minutes. Newcastle on top with possession, shots. Oh dear, that's quite dominating. Look away, Forest fans. You're getting dominated. 62% possession for Newcastle, 5 shots to 0, 4 corners to 0, and you're being dominated a bit by Newcastle. The progression of Newcastle under Eddie Howe may be set to continue into a new season, but it's 0-0 at the moment. Lewis says no penalty. WTF? What game are you talking about, Lewis? Lots of people are watching lots of different games. The James Ward-Prowse goal was not a free kick. There was an assist on it. I just don't know who did it. Hassie says Fantasy Premier League has been a mess for me. Should have been a penalty for Leeds. Okay, should have been a penalty for Leeds, apparently. Apparently there's VAR in that. Have Wolves conceded a penalty? We're waiting a bit of clarity on that. It was a Zenipo assist down the Emerson Royale side. Spurs haven't played any of their new signings, Chelsea boy. Spence, Bissouma, Longley, all on the bench. Perisic on the bench. And obviously Richarlison is suspended anyway. How's your day been so far? Says Gabriella. Busy, but good. I'm enjoying it. I think, really enjoyed the lunchtime game. Looking forward to these 3 PMs. It's been good. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Solihull Moors are winning. Did they win last week? Funny. I was in bed last night and I thought, I've not noticed anything about Solihull Moors. I felt a bit guilty. I don't go to bed at night thinking about Solihull Moors, but it did drop into my head. Just a random thought. I've fallen into this bad habit when I'm watching a film. I was watching Armageddon for about 20 minutes the other night and Billy Bob Thornton was in it. And I just ended up looking at Billy Bob Thornton on Wikipedia, finding everything out about his life. So what am I doing? Richarlison is suspended, yeah. I mean, Southampton are being very progressive against Spurs so far. We shouldn't be surprised by that. And some people think Spurs might win the league. Wake up. Wake up. You're dreaming. No Leeds penalty. Thanks for the update, Cypex. I assumed there wasn't, but there you go. Why is Richarlison suspended? Don't know. Don't know. Oh, apparently it was because of a flare. There's a bit of a flare up. Some wise advice in the chat from Bradders, who says, anyone with Liverpool and Spurs players such as Son, Salah, Diaz, Kane, don't transfer them out yet of your fancy Premier League team. They will get points. You've got to be patient. Well, that's a good bit of advice for FPL. Can't change your team after 1 week. I mean, I was thinking about getting rid of Ben White, but actually he got me 5 points yesterday. And what will be Arsenal's preferred centre-back pairing? Will it be Saliba and Gabriel, or will it be Saliba and Ben White? He spent 50 million quid on Ben White, so I can't see him benching him. Zane's very happy. Imagine Spurs get relegated. His football is life. Spurs have equalised 1-1. When is your next stand-up session? Don't know. But it's 1-1 for Spurs. The chatter ahead. It's also 1-0 to Bristol. Draw to be happy. Kian, thanks for that update. Bristol City. See, I know. Well, someone said, imagine Spurs get relegated, and we've seen a Spurs goal. It's 1-1. We're just waiting for this ridiculous world we live in where I'm in England and I don't get the information as quick as you do. Sessegnon, who scored it. Lovely header by Sessegnon, actually, on the back post. I don't know who puts the cross in. I would imagine it might be Harry Kane. It's hard to tell. Anyone got the assist maker? Kulusevski, of course it is. Kulusevski on the wing. Kulusevski with the assist. A lovely cross to the back post. And Sessegnon drifting in on the back post. Second back post header we've seen scored today. Mitrovic did it. And now it is Spurs with Sessegnon. 1-1. Good goal. Lovely cross by Kulusevski, though. So we're getting lots of goals. That's what we want to see. And I'll tell you what, that's not like Spurs. They go 1-0 down at home on the season opener to Southampton after about 10 minutes, and then they're back level after 20 minutes. So just shows you that we can, things can move and change, and maybe that's what Spurs are about under Conte. So 1-1 between Tottenham and Spurs. Still 1-0 to Wolves at Leeds, and still 1-0 to Bournemouth against Villa. No equalisers in those games and no goals at St James's Park yet. Mark, are you nervous for tomorrow's game? Says Louis. No, I think Man United will start the season well. Yeah, I think we'll start the season well. I'm not too concerned, to be honest with you. But you never know. But I think United will be rocking tomorrow, and I think we'll do it. Still 0-0 between Forest and Newcastle, yes. I can't jinx a football result. Anish, he says, you've jinxed it now. I can predict my team's going to win. That's not jinxing. There's talk of a red card in the chat at the moment. I can't see anything going on any of the score sites. I know there's a yellow card just happened in the Spurs game, which you'll probably see on next to Sessegnon. But I can't see anything about a red card. I think Leeds have equalised 1-1. Rodrigo. There's definitely a goal at Leeds. So, yeah, 1-1 there. Shit, that's another clean sheet gone. Fucking hell. Matty Cash. And Collins for Wolves, my defenders. Wolves defenders are only worth it for their clean sheets. Nobody can keep a clean sheet today. Well, I suppose that's a good way of looking at it, isn't it? You know, nobody's keeping clean sheets. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We are, I don't know what we're at, but you're all very welcome. Enjoyed the stream at lunchtime, and hopefully we can get some good stuff going on today. We're very close to 724,000. We're only about 10 away, so please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Come on, you Saints, says Sean. Good start for you, but you're back to 1-1. Rodrigo's going to be the new Rafinha. I actually played FIFA about a year ago, bought Rodrigo, and I thought I'd bought Rafinha. Obviously, I hadn't. What's your opinion on Saliba? Says Dylan. Very impressed with him last night. Thought he played really, really well. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. He's got to do it week in, week out. But I'd be interested to see. I think he will be a starting centre-back. I wonder who you're going to get paired with. I just wonder whether him and Gabriel are a bit similar. I actually think Saliba and Ben White might be the pairing that he goes with. But I've always quite liked Gabriel, to be fair. So I'd be interested to know what Arsenal fans prefer. No goals at the moment. Still the same. Villa are losing 1-0. New graphics are amazing. Yeah, thank you very much, Nikhil. Very physical game, says RM Football. I think Chelsea will beat Everton tonight. I mean, I could be miles off. Fulham got a very good result against Liverpool. So home team Everton at Goodison, they've got to be confident. But I do think Chelsea will win that one. Yeah. Graffiti, thank you very much. He says, as an Arsenal fan, I'd go with Ben White and Saliba. I think that's probably what he will do. I'd probably go with that as well. I think Gabriel and Saliba are a little bit similar, and it's always nice to have a different, you know, a centre-back pairing that complements each other. But, you know, he spent £50 million on Ben. I don't think you can keep Ben White at right back. I think that's a real weakness, yeah. It's a good game between Southampton and Spurs. It's been end to end, and I do wonder why. I've got to put it to the chat. I do wonder why Conte hasn't actually put any of his new signings into the team. It's quite a weird thing to do, but you know, I thought Ben White did quite well at right back, Lakini, but he'll get, you know, it's like putting Harry Maguire at right back or Van Dijk at right back. That, you know, very, very difficult to do well at right back as a centre back. It's a completely different ball set. They're not fit enough. That's why a lot of these players to play for Spurs. Not fit to wear the shirt. Why has no one tried to get Ward-Prowse, says Dom. Good point. Good point. Don't know. Mark, what do you think went wrong with Liverpool today, says Colin. Thank you very much for the super chat, Colin. I don't know. You know, I thought Fulham played well, but you'd still expect Liverpool to win that. I don't know what went wrong with Liverpool. I think they were off the pace a little bit. I mean, they had enough possession, but they just didn't seem to get hold of the game in the way I thought that they would. Fair play to Fulham. They were well organised, but I still think Liverpool should have created. All I can say is Liverpool didn't deserve to win the game. They didn't create the chances to win the game. I don't think they can argue that they did enough to get a point, but I don't think they did anything more than that. So my feeling is that Liverpool clearly, for whatever reason, were not at the races today. And I hope it stays that way. I was thinking that actually afterwards, that Man United are playing them in a couple of weeks' time, and I don't know how Man United are going to be, but I'd like to have played Liverpool today if United were on it. Thoughts on Julian Alvarez from City? Says football is life. Comes with a big reputation, Nate. Not really seen enough of him. Heard a lot about him, but never really watched him. I think City need him to hit the ground running. I don't think he can be a development player. I think he's got to hit the ground running, because with Sterling and Jesus going, the only replacement there is Haaland. So I think Alvarez is going to have to hit the ground running. I mean, that's a fair point. Regano says Darwin should have started. He was great when he came on. He's a chance magnet. That's what he is. People moan about how he finishes, and he was ridiculously lucky. He tries to flick it. He misses it. The defender knocks it back into his flick, and it goes in. He also had a chance about 3 minutes before that where he tried to flick it. I don't know what he's trying to flick. He just finish it, mate. But ultimately, he got the goal. And he got an assist. Ainsley Harriott official. If United win their first 3 games, we'll be 4 points ahead of Liverpool. Yes, we will. No, we won't. We'll be 5. We'll be 5 points ahead of Liverpool. We'd have 9 points. They'd have 4 because we would have beaten them. Interesting. Solihull Moors 1-1 now. Boo. 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 Are they playing in the National League or are they playing in the FA Cup or something like that? If you're interested in the Championship, Bristol are 1-1 with Sunderland. Norwich drew 1-1 with Wigan. Luton are beating Burnley 1-0. QPR are 2-0 up against Middlesbrough. And Reading are 1-1 with Cardiff. Go on, Incy. We have got a goal, and it's Southampton. It's not Southampton, sorry. It's a Spurs goal. It's Eric Dyer. I'll tell you, you got the assist in a minute. I think it probably comes from a corner, which means it's another cross. But I will update you with that in a minute. Just waiting to see it. Son assist, Spurs goal, says Monster Man. And another cross and another goal for Spurs. From 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Zane's gone quiet. Spurs are ahead. Son with the assist. Dyer with the goal. And we've only had half an hour. They've gone 1-0 down and they're 2-1 up. Spurs showing a little bit of oomph. A little bit of comeback ability. And Son gets the assist. It's a front post diving header by Dyer. A very intelligent header. It's smoked. And Son, who a lot of people will have, has got the goal. 2-1 to Spurs. Bounce back ability. Two crosses. Good goal, says Anas. And 2-1 there. Still 0-0 between Newcastle and Nottingham Forest. All the nils. Newcastle well on top in that game, but they've not been able to turn it into a goal yet. Himanshu says, how have Newcastle not scored yet? We'll whack the stats up for you again in a minute. They're on now. 67% possession. I mean, Jesus, that is ridiculous. How are they not winning? 67% possession, 10 shots to 1, 3 shots on target to 0, 6 corners to 0, and it's still 0-0. Yeah, don't know. Is Dean Henderson having a great game? I'm sure he is. What did you think of pre-season Pirlo? Says I thought it was crap in the second half, Pereira. Yeah, I thought it was all right in the first half. I thought it was crap in the second half. But Newcastle not able to score a goal yet. To be fair, looking at the stats between Spurs and Southampton, quite an equal game there for shots. But Liverpool, Spurs having more of the ball and making it show. Solihull are 2-1 up now, says Dom Smith. I'll take your word for it. Louise can still see a Southampton comeback. Well, I don't know about that, Louise, because I think 1-0 to Southampton, and you'd think maybe Spurs are going to get a bit jittery, but they've got themselves back in front within half an hour. So, yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is when we're watching all these openers is what are your first 3 games of the season? And Spurs after this are away to Chelsea next. I mean, that's too big. That is. That's what she said. But that's too big a game to be second game of the season. Chelsea against Spurs next Sunday. Too big. Too big. I don't like the big games in the first 3 games of the season. I think it's you need to get the season warmed up a bit before you play those big games. So they've got Chelsea away next week and they've got Wolves at home. So it's not a straightforward start for Spurs, really. But I'm looking forward to that game next week. Chelsea against Spurs, be a good match, that. And then at the end of August, after they've got Forest. So, and then they've got West Ham. So, that's the thing about Spurs. It's easy at the start of the season to predict that they're going to have a good season, but people forget that the games are difficult. There's difficult games to play. There's no easy games in the Premier League, really. I suppose that's what you'd say. So 2-1 to Spurs, as we know. Still 0-0 between Forest and Newcastle, although Newcastle are dominating there. 1-1 between Leeds and Wolves, and Bournemouth still beating Villa 1-0. Could we whack up the stats for that match if you get a minute, Draughty? That'd be interesting to have a look at. Bournemouth Villa. Football's Finest says, hi Mark, can you please shout out my friend Mike? He's a massive Man United fan. It would mean the world to him. Love your channel, says Football's Finest. Thank you very much for that super chat. We should have the stats coming in for Bournemouth against Villa now. And as you can see, quite an equal game, but Villa's still very much in it. And but Bournemouth with that home advantage and the 1-0 lead at the moment. So, yeah, I predicted Villa would do quite well. But at the moment, they're not going to do it. Yeah, Jebben, he tried. You've got to get up a lot earlier than that to catch me out. You can read it yourself. But, yeah, he tried and he failed. But fair play. Cornet to West Ham from Burnley. Yeah, I think some Burnley fans were hopeful that he was going to stay in the Championship with you, but I think my FPL points have probably got about 42 at the moment. Ajax are losing 1-0 to Fortuna Sittard. They're only 7 minutes in, though. They kicked off at 3:30. My big players tomorrow are Haaland and Sancho. Has anyone got Haaland in their team? He's got it. I just wondered whether people did go for Haaland because everyone's calling him a flop, but I think he will do quite well. I think him and Nunez will score a lot of goals. I think they'll miss a lot. They'll miss a lot of chances, but I think they'll score a lot of goals as well. Let's have a look what's going on in the Championship. I was talking about that. QPR have just gone 3-0 ahead against Middlesbrough. Reading 1-1 with Cardiff. Sheffield United are beating Millwall 2-0. Stoke are 1-0 up against Blackpool. And Swansea Blackburn is 0-0, although it looks like something's about to happen in that game. I don't know what, but it's flashing about. So maybe something's going to happen there. But I'd like Reading to win. It's a goal to Blackburn away to Swansea. 1-0. They've just gone 1-0 up. Yeah, I had Salah as captain. Don't think he played particularly well today, but he gets a goal and assist. That's Mo Salah for you. Seven minutes to go to half time. It's flown by. Very much still in the game, though. Southampton here. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Somebody just said, how many points have you got? I've closed it down. I'll be able to tell you exactly what I've got. Let me have a look. I've only got 33. I thought I had more than that. 33. I will have about 37 when they add on the bonus points for Salah. He's definitely got bonus points to be added on. So I'm on about 37, but I've got 3 players letting me down here: Cash, Collins, and St. Maximin. Really could do with Newcastle converting some of these chances. Saints and King. I think Harry Maguire will score. I mean, look, I said this to somebody before, Nabil. Harry Maguire hardly ever scores goals now, and yet he wins a lot of headers. He's well overdue a header. I can't remember the last time he scored. I suppose a lot of the goal scorers aren't particularly obvious goal scorers, are they, either? Like Dyer and Sessegnon won't be in many people's fancy Premier League teams. Wolves goal, apparently. Not 100% sure about that. Some people are talking about the Leeds game. No, there's nothing happening there. At the moment, it's still 1-1. Podence got the first goal. I think He-Chan got the assist on that. Harrison got the assist for Rodrigo. So, yeah, I think people just wanted to know what the fancy Premier League update was. That. When's TalkSport? 7:30 tonight. 7:30 till 9 o'clock. Tune in. It'll be on YouTube, but it'll also be on the radio. You can call in. I think we've got some sort of thing going on if you're the best caller or something. I'll read it out at 7:30. But yeah, talking about the day's action. No doubt Arsenal's title charge will be discussed. And Liverpool dropping 2 points. Sean says, fill your fantasy Premier League teams with fullbacks. They get you loads of points. Could a set of completely new and different strikers work in a front three for United? Kane, Wood, Hwang, for example, is reality. It costs a lot of money for a start because none of those players are for sale. I'm not doing Chelsea versus Everton. No, can't do it tonight. I need to eat. And I've got to do a video for United Stand as well. There's quite a lot of stuff to catch up on. That's the problem when you're busy watching loads of football. There's quite a lot of news for United. I think I'll probably go live about 5:30 actually, while that's on. Maybe get live a little bit earlier. We'll see. Might do it for 5 actually. That might be a good idea. Man of the match so far says take my L. I don't know. I've not been watching it that in depth. Killian says he's going to whack Mitrovic in after today. And I can't believe it's still 0-0 between Forest and Newcastle. They've absolutely battered them. And it's still 0-0 in that game. We're about to hit half-time in a lot of these 3 o'clock games. Southampton will be very, very disappointed having gone 1-0 up to be 2-1 down. Turn around quite quickly. Leeds and Wolves are 1-1. And Villa still losing to Bournemouth there. To be honest, I very nearly predicted that Bournemouth would beat Villa, but it's only because I had Villa in my Prem predictions as a team to watch out for this season that I sort of thought I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. But thinking about it, Bournemouth winning that game was probably quite obvious considering just been promoted at home, first game of the season, bounce, etc. Perisic is on the bench, Rizad. Compost says Liverpool can't afford draws to guff like Fulham. Well, no, they've definitely dropped 2 points. Yeah, 100%. Definitely have. Did you see the new offer for De Jong, 450k a week? And who told you that, Evie? Who told you that? Shamrock Rovers are winning if you care. Pest says Forest are definitely going to go down. Do you think Cucurella will start today? I've got him in my team, fancy Premier League team, because I had him in my team from Brighton. So I kept him in just in case he does start, because I think he's going to be a really good player for them. But I don't know whether he'll go straight into the team. It seems to be fashionable to put your new signings on the bench. Look at Conte, Nunez with Liverpool. I mean, that's an interesting question. If he'd started Nunez, should Nunez have started? That's an interesting point. No goals at the moment. Bournemouth are beating Villa, Jonathan. We've got no updates on goals at the moment. Not even in the Championship, actually. Still lots of the same scores. Bolton have just scored. They're 2-0 up against Wickham. Bristol Rovers are winning 4-0 against Burton. And yeah, that's where we're at with that at the moment. Bundesliga. The Bundesliga is on. 3-0 to Union Berlin against Hertha. Wolfsburg are losing to Bremen. Yeah, I can't get excited about the Bundesliga. I tried. The accent didn't work. Bundesliga, the boring Liga, I call it. It is, though. I mean, come on. I'm not being offensive to Germans, but Bayern Munich are going to win it. It's boring. I mean, they're already way better than everybody else, and they've bought De Ligt, Mane, Gravenberch, Musiala, God knows who else. Like, it's just, I like the Bundesliga, but it's ridiculously monopolized. It's like League One in French. It's exactly like that. Half-time, Tottenham lead 2-1. And yeah, half-time reaction. Let me just put a tweet out. Bang, bang, bang. So I think it's half-time in all the games now, so I can just give you a quick summarise. Certainly half-time between Spurs and Southampton. 1-0 down to a well-taken goal by James Ward-Prowse, but Southampton giving way to 2 goals by Spurs, and Spurs lead 2-1 at half-time. Of course, Conte choosing not to start any of his new signings, whether it's Perisic, Spence, Basuma, or Longley. Richarlison was suspended anyway, but I think it's very obvious that he wouldn't have started. Bournemouth are still playing, but they are 1-0 up against Aston Villa. Leeds 1-1 with Wolves, and Newcastle 0-0 with Forest. We will go through the stats in a moment of each of those games, and we can tell you, just how it's actually been statistically. But those are the scores at the moment. Leeds are doing really well, apparently. And the Bundesliga should adopt the playoff style of the NBA. At least the chance for others to win it would increase and make it less boring. And you all got the Kane early season curse. Yeah, remember when Harry Kane, I think there was a time where Harry Kane hadn't scored a goal in August, and it was only a couple of years ago. So Compost, I think, again, saying Forest are going straight back down. Liverpool rocked by Fulham. So there's the stats for the Spurs game. 60% almost possession for Spurs. 9 shots to 3. 5 shots on target to 1. I think it's fair to say that Spurs are the better side and deserve to be 2-1 up in that game, which they are at the moment. Wolves just missed a sitter, apparently, says Johnny and Boom. And our next game is going to be, we'll see it in a minute. Bundesliga teams are better than United, says Liverpool. I love this. Like, I'm not 6 years old. That's football is a grown-up conversation for everybody. Just because Bundesliga teams are better than Manchester United doesn't mean the Bundesliga ain't boring. I mean, I'm dealing with kids. What? Get back to school. Bundesliga teams are better than Man United. Doesn't mean it's not a boring league. Anyway, Bournemouth against Villa. Villa have had a lot of that game. But Bournemouth still holding out 1-0. More shots, more possession, more passes, better pass accuracy, but Bournemouth are holding on at the moment. Could be a very big win for them. Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 0. Half the clubs in Europe are better than Man United. I don't care. I tune into the United stand. You'll get a very honest assessment on Manchester United. This is the one that's really interesting. 14 shots to 3, 6 shots on target to 0, 65% possession, Newcastle 0, Forest 0. If I asked you what the score was based on that, there's no way you'd say 0-0. You'd say 1 or 2-0 to Newcastle, but it is 0-0 at the moment. And Newcastle will probably be very disappointed that it is 0-0 at the moment in that game, which should leave us with Leeds against Wolves. Bundesliga has a lot of goals, so it's really fun to watch. I don't find it fun to watch the same team win the league every year. Quite equal game, this. Equal possession, equal shots, 1-1. Yeah, I mean, that's an example of a stat board of quite an equal game, and it is 1-1 between Leeds and Wolves. Interesting to see. I predicted a draw. I predicted a draw in that game as well. So maybe that's the way it's heading. But if you're into your fancy Premier League, there's not a lot of clean sheets out there, and there's not a lot of obvious scorers out there either. A lot of defenders scoring goals, and still 45 minutes to go. I'd fancy Spurs to go on and win from here. They've got a good foot in this game now, and I don't think Conte will want them to change that. Plus, they've got a very strong bench to change things up. Leeds are staying up, says CJ. I'm not going to change my opinion. I think Fulham, Bournemouth and Forest will go down. But there is a possibility that an Everton or a Brentford or a Leeds or maybe even a Southampton could drop down into that. I scrub that. I really don't think Southampton would go down. I really, really don't. Who do you think will get promoted? Says Cop He's gone for Blackburn. I don't know. I mean, I'm quite a cynic when it comes to promotion and relegation. I personally think that it's always going to be the same. I think it'd be 3 up, 3 down. So I'd say Norwich, Burnley, and Watford will come back up. I guarantee you Norwich will come back up, 100%. Southampton have got in a low block and are trying to hit on the break, says Sean. And do you think Forest will stay up, says Quentin? No, I'm predicting they'll go down. Henderson's made 5 saves, says David to go. I don't give a shit what Dean Henderson does. I wish he'd leave. Gobby, arrogant. Yeah, I can't understand the mentality of somebody thinks that they've been hard done by when they get ill and come back and a keeper who's playing well keeps them out of the team. What are your thoughts on Nunez today, says Ajik? I think you should have started him. I do think you should have started him. It can't be fitness. He came on a week ago in the Community Shield and scored a goal. I cannot understand why he didn't start today. I thought Firmino was off and you basically wasted 45 minutes with him. I would have started the game with Nunez, to be honest. But, you know, I was very pleased for Fulham. I thought they deserved a goal. Greg says Newcastle have been dominant and the parachute payment shouldn't exist, says Alan. No, I agree with you on that one. Do you think United will spend in January regardless of how this summer window pans out? Mate, if you can't spend in the summer, what makes you think... I'm not playing that game. There are some United fans out there that I describe as naive who think that when we don't spend the money into the summer, we're going to save it till January. I hear it every year. Oh, we'll just spend it in January. Yeah. You must be a member of the Glazer membership club. As soon as he came on, Fulham struggled, says Azure. Yeah. I think that's I don't know because I haven't had time between the end of the Liverpool game and starting this stream to really have a look online. But I think a lot of Liverpool fans, I would imagine, would be saying, why did we not start Darwin Nunez? Because they were lacking something today. I mean, to be honest, though, I've said this before about Liverpool. I don't know why you don't buy a midfielder. I don't know why they don't buy a midfielder because Thiago is injured a lot. Fabinho and Henderson are good, but they're not massively creative, which means Milner's not massively creative. So your creative midfielders are Keita, who's always injured, Harvey Elliott, who may not be good enough, and Thiago, who's always injured. So Tchouameni's not creative though, Jemmy. I don't know why won't he go and get a creative midfielder? Because that's what Liverpool really do need. Maybe Tielemans would be worth it for a year. Barella would be fantastic. Bellingham would be fantastic. They're very hard deals to do. I don't think anyone can judge Liverpool for wanting them and then not being able to get them. But I don't know what I think about this Carvalho. I don't know a lot about him, Uncle Randy. He says he's a midfielder. Looks like he might be a little bit lightweight to me, but maybe he will be the player. And we know what we do know about Klopp is he's got an amazing ability to, develop players. So maybe that's the plan there at the end of the day. Maybe that is the plan there. Kate has gotten a lot better in terms of fitness as Ajit. And look, Liverpool are carrying a few injuries at the moment. Jota is a big loss. He might not be glamorous, but Jota is a big loss. He's ridiculously consistent. And I'm surprised that Firmino's still there. That's the one I'm surprised about. And look, I don't spend a lot of time talking to Liverpool fans in depth about Liverpool because I don't enjoy it. But I thought Firmino was meant to move on. And I just don't. I think Firmino had his time a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, where he was a very useful player. But I think he's become almost redundant in that Liverpool side. Hi, Mark. In your opinion, how good is Sander Berg, really? I'm not really. Who does he play for? Is he still at Sheffield United? I really thought he'd end up at United because he's Norwegian and Ollie. I love Sandery Bergie, but no, I've not really taken a lot of notice about him. I mean, the fact that he's not hit the Premier League yet shows that he's probably not the player everyone thought he was going to be. But probably too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Prem. I mean, he spent last year in the Championship as well. So I don't know why no one's made a move for him, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, look, he's obviously not considered. I thought that Polina for Fulham was a good signing. And I think there's a point to be made there that he was a player that was linked to Arsenal, Man United over the last few years. And he's gone to Fulham and he looks quite good. JD says that Harvey Elliott is good enough. And Firmino's getting phased out, says Hannah. And I tell you what, if Son scored a goal, Potato, it's amazing because the game's not even kicked off yet. So he's cheating. Imagine that. Son's ran out before the game started and got the ball and scored. And it wouldn't be 3-2, it'd be 3-1 because Southampton only got one goal. So maybe work a little bit harder on your score predictions in future. Stian says, I'm a Liverpool fan and I wanted Liverpool to buy a more creative midfielder last summer because of injuries on Thiago, Hendo, Keita and Oxlade. Firmino was gone 2 seasons ago. There you go, from a Liverpool fan. Johnny Wilson says, Sander Berg was bought for a lot of money. I think teams think he's too expensive right now. Leroy Sane to United. I heard this. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm going to do a United stand video straight after this at about 5 o'clock, actually. We'll be talking about Sesko, Gakpo. I will bring Sane into that one as well. But I've got to be honest, I don't want to spoil the show, actually. Thoughts on Andreas' debut for Fulham, says Salah Ahmed. Mixed bag. I thought that he started the game quite well, but I thought in the second half he made a lot of mistakes. There was a point where they had a 2v2 and the Fulham player on the far-hand, right-hand side had pulled away and all he needed to do was whip it to the back post and it would have been a great chance. He didn't play the cross, and then he cut in and tried to curl it in the top corner and it got blocked. So, yeah. Be interesting to see if Pereira finds his level. I've always said about Andreas Pereira, I just don't know what he is. I don't know whether he's a Preston player, a Monaco player, a Fulham player, a Solihull Moors player. I just don't know. But what I do know is he's not a Man United player. He's not a Liverpool player. He's not a Spurs player. He's not a top 6 player. Andreas Pereira needs to figure out what he is. They were off the pace, Liverpool, Max. He says they were shocking. I think they were off the pace. Stormtrooper says, we already know that City are winning the title. Watch out tomorrow. Man City's start to the season is interesting. West Ham away tomorrow. West Ham could catch them cold. They got caught cold by Spurs last year. So West Ham could do something. Next weekend, I think they play... who are they playing next weekend, Man City? They're a 3 o'clock game, Bournemouth. So they'll win that. And then the week after that, I think they play Newcastle away. So there are potential slip-ups for Man City, but on the other hand, they could have 12 points after 4 games, as we know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Off to bed, woke up early for the Liverpool game, says Ajit. How does that work then? You wake up early and then you go back to bed after the Liverpool game. I'd just stay up. Depends how early it was you got up, I suppose. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We are about to start the game second half very, very soon. You're all welcome on United Stand. Thank you. Sorry, That's Football. You're all welcome on That's Football. We're closing in on 725,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. You're all welcome. Big season ahead, and it's been a good start. Remember, we've got the World Cup. We'll be covering every World Cup game as a watch-along in November through to December. And we're covering the normal Premier League games and Champions League as well. Ajit, it was 4:30 a.m. There you go. So you got up at 4:30 a.m. The game finished at 6:30 a.m. Are you going back to bed? Fair play. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge, pal. I'm not here to judge. What's your opinion on Kulusevski, says Hex. Love him. Absolutely love him. I think he's a fantastic player. I do. Not messing about. I think he's a cracking player. Do you think it was a penalty earlier? No. Yes. Yes. What, the Liverpool game? Yeah. Yeah. What I would say is, I think that if it had been not given, it wouldn't have been given. I know that sounds like Michael Owen, but what I mean is, I think you need to understand how the referees work. If he hadn't have given that and they'd reviewed it on VAR, they'd have said no penalty because it's not clear and obviously wrong. And because he gave it, when they review it on VAR, they'll go, well, there's enough to give a penalty there. It's not clear and obviously wrong. So I think it was one of them penalty decisions that, you know, sometimes referees don't give a foul in the box and it clearly is a foul, so then it get reviewed. But I think with that one, there's minimal contact, but it's enough for the referee to give a penalty so they wouldn't overrule it. I thought it was a penalty, to be honest, anyway. But yeah, we've not started off in the second half yet, which is a bit of a surprise. I thought we would have started, but no one started again. Brutos says the top four race is going to be fantastic because Conte is ruthless. I like it. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. I like Kulusevski. Yeah, I think I like Spurs front three. I like Kulusevski and Son and Kane. I think they complement each other really well. There's physicality there. There's speed there. There's guile. There's creativity. There's clinical finishing in all three of them. So I like Spurs front three. And I think that's why I think Richarlison could be a flop, because I don't know how he gets his game time. You know, but we'll have to see. It's interesting. I'm not saying he will be a flop. I'm just saying you can end up. I mean, it's like Skamaka at West Ham. I think he's a really good player, but how's he going to play? How's he going to get his game time? It's interesting that because of the World Cup, there are less games before winter transfer window, so teams can strengthen earlier if they do bad, says Max. Thank you very much, Max, for your super chat. Can City win the treble, says Football is Life? They better bloody not. I mean, look, you know, Liverpool dropped points today and everyone's acting like Man City are going to be amazing. But have you ever thought about it like this? Like maybe Man City might be weaker. Fernandinho's gone. Silva might go. Sterling's gone. Zinchenko's gone. Jesus is gone. Maybe that weakens them a little bit. Can you say beer can without sounding like a Jamaican saying bacon? Says the fat satisfies customer. Beer can. Well, no, I don't think anybody can they really? The timer is not up and running, but the game has started. I'm not. Just put 46. Let me have a look on Flash. Yeah, 47. Anyway, we're up and running in the Bournemouth and Spurs games, and now the Newcastle game as well. Still half-time with Leeds and Wolves. Newcastle are going to be very disappointed if they don't win this game, unless Forest turn it around massively in the second half. They've dominated them. So they have. I think the best start to the season is the one where teams like United and Forest, not Forest, United and Spurs and Arsenal win, and Liverpool and Chelsea and City don't win. I think it just makes it interesting. But Arsenal are 2 points ahead of Liverpool. Spurs could be 2 points ahead of Liverpool. That's the aim. Is to, if you get more points than them, it's very hard to do it over 37 games. Liverpool are going to bounce back. The disappointing thing for Liverpool is they don't play again until a week on Monday. Their next game is on Monday against Palace, a week on Monday. So 9 days to think about that bad result. Anthony Gaming 67, thank you very much. But look, if I'm being honest, there's loads of times under Sir Alex where we've had bad starts to the season and I've got, oh God, I can't believe it. And then by Christmas, you're in a title race again. I don't think it's going to take till Christmas for Liverpool to be back in the title race, by the way. But no, like we've had really bad starts. We've had starts where we've took like 4 points from 9 or something like that. Under Sir Alex. Where does Richarlison fit into this team, says Rayhan? Well, I don't think he does. I don't think he starts. I just can't see where he fits into this Spurs side. Back 5, 2 midfielders, a front 3. They don't play with a 10. Kulusevski, I think, is permanent now, isn't he, with Bentancur? Suspect Star says he's still on loan. I think they were loaned to buys in the summer. That's a good question, actually, because you need to add that value onto their summer spend. Don't know whether, I think they might still be on loan, actually. Maybe they're still on loan for a little bit longer. They're definitely loaned to buys, but maybe it was an 18-month thing. I don't know. Can't remember. Yeah, he's still on loan, says Luciano. Yeah. I think they're still on loan. Obligation to buy, but Bentancur was a signing. Kulusevski is a loan. 2-year loan, says Ryan. And Bentancur was a straight purchase, so they've definitely backed Conte. Do you think Ronaldo will start tomorrow? I don't know. I would start him. I worship the ground he walks on, but that's me. But no, I would start him anyway. I mean, it's like saying, would you start Benzema? Would you start Lewandowski? Yes, of course. I would start Ronaldo. It's a very easy thing for me. Is Martin Tyler biased towards Man United? Marks is sleep tight. Mate, I don't know. Because I don't listen to commentary. Because when I watch football, I watch it with you people. So I don't know whether Martin Tyler... It's many years since I've sat and watched a game with commentary. Just don't do it. Do you think Man United are ready for this season? Looking at the squad, says Gunners. No, we're not ready. Don't care what anybody says. We need a goal. We definitely need a goal in these games today. Although I have watched many a 3 o'clock on the afternoon. I remember watching one game one Saturday afternoon last year. I think there was 6 3 o'clock kickoffs and it was 0-0 in all of them. He's not on their level at the moment, says Nate H. Ipswich have scored a screamer, says Greeny Boy. Ronaldo will be screaming Sue 3 times tomorrow, says Randy. I think we will win tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to disrespect Brighton, but I do think we win the game tomorrow. Might be completely wrong, but yeah, I do get the feeling that we'll win tomorrow. Oh, I hope we do. I really do. Scooby-Doo, McTominay and Maguire with 2 goals, 2-0 to Manchester United. Imagine that. What I love about people like Maguire and McTominay is that if they score for United and we win, I'm happy. But as soon as they score, I'll get tagged in by about 100 people saying, sit down, Goldbridge. And then I'm like, whatever. Because I just think, what about last season then? 1 goal in a game and they were crap all last season. Well, it doesn't matter about last season. It matters about now. I said, all right, well, let's wait for the Liverpool game. Let's see what happens then. Man City buy more players in the transfer window, says Anthony. Spurs, I can't believe Spurs haven't scored. Still 2-1. Burnley are 1-1 at the moment. I'm not worried about Brighton, but I do respect Brighton. I think he's a very good coach, Potter. I think he needs to get out of Brighton, though. I don't want to be disrespectful to Brighton, but I do think he needs to get out of there. Let me have a look. But a bit of goal there. No. Bristol are winning. Do you like City or Rovers, Dorothy? Yeah, you're winning 2-1 against Sunderland. Well done. And Burnley have equalised against Luton. 1-1. Well, it's company now, isn't it? I don't care about Burnley. They're a fake Burnley now. He's trying to pass out from the back and play triangles. It's unbelievable. What's going on with this company guy? Where's the potato cakes and the long balls and wood? It's all triangles. I was rubbish at GCSEs. Couldn't go sleep. Still pissed off. Says Ajit. Oh, you're a Liverpool fan. Okay, yeah. All right, you won't sleep then. What do you think of Brighton's new owner, some lad called Romano? Says Scott. Yeah. I found that quite funny, actually. Basically, Romano sitting down Brighton on the Cucurella deal. Football's a weird place, isn't it? I always think the transfer window is a different time to the, it's like you play football, then you have the transfer window, and they're 2 very separate things. And almost when the transfer window shuts, you used to say bye to Romano, and then the football's played. But the worlds are colliding now. He's probably got more followers than Brighton. Probably can afford to buy Brighton, to be fair. Ten Hag. Sorry, I'm just doing something while I'm working here. That's Ten Hag. Looks for an Anthony alternative. That'll do. Okay, let me come back to you lot in the chat. Who are your relegation predictions, Goldie? I wonder, says the satisfied customer. Yeah, I'm going to go with a Sunderland have just equalised against Bristol. That's a good game. 2-2. I'm going to go with the 3: Fulham, Bournemouth, and Forest. Yeah. I think I'll stick with that because it's a long old season and it's not decided in August. I mean, look, there's so many good examples, but I think my favourite one is that Nuno had 9 points from 3 games for Spurs and got sacked in October. So even if you win your first, Arsenal lost their first 3 games as well. So I really wouldn't be that worried if I was a Liverpool fan. What if Liverpool win the next 37 games? You'll win the league. So 1 game doesn't make your season. And what do you think of Klopp saying the pitch was dry? Is that valid? Says I think Klopp's hilarious. It's windy, it's wet, the ball was too round, the ground was too hard. Yeah, I don't know. Jackson says you've got more subscribers on the United Stand than Romano. Yeah, but I can't afford to buy Brighton, and I wouldn't, and I couldn't. The pitch was too green, says Luciano. Now, we're going to get loads in the chat now of really good excuses. But still no goals in the second half here. Bournemouth still holding out against Villa 1-0 after 12 minutes in the second half. Leeds 1-1 with Wolves. Newcastle still 0-0 with Forest. And Tottenham winning 2-1, as we know. Southampton are going to get relegated, says Football is Life. No, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Sesko is apparently close to Leipzig, so the signing are going into the fog, and you can shout out Alan, says Perks. Yeah, I'm live at 5 on the United Stand, actually. I've got quite a lot to talk about, so I thought I'd just do a quick 5 o'clock show after this. There is enough to talk about. Nothing about De Jong. Woohoo! Maybe they all forgot their asthma inhalers. I don't believe that conspiracy theory at all, by the way. We're talking about conspiracy theories yesterday, weren't we? I just don't believe that. And if it was true, surely it would have been investigated. I'll tell you what was an interesting one last night, that Newcastle are owned or own something to do with Chelsea. That was weird. The Earth axis wasn't at the right angle today, says Klopp, says Alligator. But you know what, though? As a United fan of many years, I've got to say there are similarities between Klopp and Sir Alex in many ways, in many areas. They are similar. And Sir Alex would do that. If we drew against Fulham, he'd find a reason for it. And the reason you do that is it maintains a winning mentality in your dressing room. If your manager is finding reasons for why you've dropped points, it makes you continue to believe that you're the best. So, yeah. Mark, who's going to win the Carabao Cup? Couldn't give a shit. No, it'll be Liverpool, Chelsea, or Man City, I think. There's a goal at Newcastle, and I think it's for Newcastle. They've huffed and they've puffed, and they've blown the door down. And finally, we have got a goal coming in at Newcastle. I don't know who scored it, but there's definitely been a goal. Huffed and puffed, and it is... Oh, I don't know who scored it. I'll tell you in a minute. The chat might be the best place for the goal rather than me. Shah. Ooh-ah, it's Shah with a screamer. Dean Henderson's in the mud, says Heel. You better get used to that, Hendo, says Compost. It's a banger from 25 yards, and it's Shah who makes it 1-0 to Newcastle. Please tell me that St. Maximin played the pass. Newcastle are playing Forest, and they're 1-0 up. There you go. Well, when Draughty comes back, we'll put the stats up on the screen because you will not be surprised to see that Newcastle are leading. They dominated in the first half. They had something like 12 shots to 4 and 4 on target and 0. What do you remember from football before the Prem, says friend? Loads. I spend many an evening looking at YouTube. I nearly got it wrong there. You don't caught me out. YouTube, watching like old episodes of Saint and Greavesy and World Cup reviews and stuff like that. Yeah, I loved. Yeah, that was it for me. You know, Gary Lineker and all that. What do you remember from football? There we go. That's that. So 1-0 to no assist. No assist. It was an own G. Oh no, Spurs have scored. Sorry, we're getting a few things going on here. Spurs have scored 3-1. There won't be an assist on this one. It's Salah Sue. Remember when he got sent off against United in after about 10 seconds? 3-1 to Spurs. I don't know whether Son will get an assist on this. He might. He might do. It looks like it could be game over in the Spurs game. God. Is it Emerson? Who crosses the ball? I think it's Emerson Royale. It's not a Son assist. I think it's Emerson Royale who puts the cross in. And it's a great finish by the defender. He's got nobody near him. It's basically a cross and finish with no one near him. So Spurs game over. Good, strong win here. Spurs 3-1. And they're looking comfortable now. I was trying to update you on the Newcastle goal, which was scored by Shah. He made himself some space on the edge of the box and pulls the trigger. I don't know whether there's an assist on it. I probably need to go to, someone in the chat will let us know. Don't know whether there's an assist on that. I'm biased because he's one of my favourites, but I'll never figure out why United aren't in it for Ward-Prowse, says Billy. Sorry, mate. 4-1 to Spurs. Oh, it's definitely game over. Somebody did say before the game, when will Southampton get beat by 9? Well, we've still got half an hour to go here, and it's 4-1. Zane's disappeared. His day's over. And it's 4-1. To Spurs. Kulusevski or Kulusevski, says Skyfire. Well, Kula whatever. It's definitely 4-0. Tottenham have won the league, says Lee. Well, they've got more goals than Arsenal now. They'll be above them. There's this. Look at the Newcastle stats there. 17 shots to 4, 8 on target, and it's only 1-0. But Kulusevski's got the goal. Discal says who got the assist. I think it was Emerson Royale again. He's on fire. Fucking hell. All these fullbacks getting the points. That's a lovely finish by Kulusevski, by the way. Yeah, it is. A lot of people saying, what about Kane? What about Kane? I mean, four goals for Spurs. He's not got a goal or an assist, and he's playing. So, yeah, not made any subs. Kulusevski's a fantastic player. Fantastic player. He was a fantastic player at Juventus, though. I was very surprised when Juventus let Spurs take him on a 2-year loan, because he's always, Perisic is coming on. He's always been I think Perisic is going to be an interesting player, by the way. But Kulusevski's always been a player that's been really highly thought of. So I'm surprised that Spurs, I mean, maybe it's just Conte and his connections, but maybe Juventus needed to save a bit of money. I don't know. But fantastic player. And he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant since he came into this league. And they've got, like I say, I really like the balance in the front three. It's got a really good balance, and could be a very, 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 very interesting season for Spurs. I know a lot of Spurs fans, and they're very excited about it. I mean, considering they were 1-0 down as well. Still 1-1 with Reading and Cardiff. Yeah, I like Kulusevski. Mark my words, Spurs are dark horses for the title and will 100% win a trophy, says Stephen the Hazard. I will mark those words. I'll remember those words, Stephen the Hazard. I'm going to remark those words, and I'm going to remember those words. And we're all going to remember them now. I don't think that Spurs will win the league. There'd have to be a really big drop off for Man City and Spurs. For Man City and Liverpool. It's got nothing to do with Spurs not being good. I mean, I think they've got a good squad. I think they've got a very good manager. But it's just the ability of Man City and Liverpool to relentlessly win week in, week out. Kulusevski would have been good under Erik Ten Hag, says Kyle. I just got a very, very... I mean, I think from January to the end of the season, didn't Son, Kulusevski and Kane score more goals and create more chances than anybody else as a front three? They've probably got the most balanced front three in the Prem. Now that Mane's gone from Liverpool, I think they've got the most balanced front three in the Prem. Having said that, I think Liverpool, if it clicks between Diaz, Nunez and Salah, that's a balanced front three. But yeah, it's a very, very good front three. Just saw on Twitter that De Jong ruled out a move to United, says Ajit. Yeah, but he's ruled out a move for United all summer. I'm not. That doesn't really bother me. There's a lot of crap being written at the moment. Reading are 2-1 up, getting governor. Paul Ince, 2-1. Reading, Cardiff, 2-1 there. Get in. Timed that well. Villa still losing to Bournemouth. Cracking 3 points there if they get it. We've got a penalty. It's a penalty for Spurs. It's a handball. I don't know whether it's been given. One of your friends, which club has been least supported, has done the reel. I don't know whether we got a handball or not. No penalty. Not given. Not given, apparently. Perisic wants it. No penalty. It's a weird one. I think his hand is sort of back, isn't it? There's a shot that goes in and he's falling down. Nah, I don't think it is a penalty. I don't think it is a penalty, but I don't understand the rules. But he's down. His arm's in a natural position. I don't know. It's not a penalty anyway. I don't understand the handball rule. That's the problem. I don't think anybody understands it. So it's not been given. Gerrard out, says Akash. Can Klopp game says it prevented a goal. Yeah, but this is the problem. I keep saying this with VAR. Nobody understands the handball rule. Are Ajax still losing? Oh, there's only one place to look on Twitter. European lad. Yeah, the half time, 1-0. Disgusting performance. Literally nothing to be positive about unless your standards are low. He's losing it. He's having a go at Daily Blind as well. It ain't easy without Ten Hag. It ain't easy, bro. I'm not doing the Chelsea watch along because I'm on TalkSport at 7:30. You can tune in on their YouTube channel or you can call in and have your say on the day's action. We will be talking about, no doubt, Everton and Chelsea on that. But make sure you tune in tonight at 7:30. I'm on for an hour and a half. It will be on YouTube as well. We'll have a live chat. Spurs dominant in this game. it must be great to not be able to win 4-1 and not have to pick any of your new signings. I mean, Emerson Royale has actually got a couple of assists. Apparently, Ince scored for Reading. That would be Tom Ince, not Paul. A bit of a dry second half, really. No goals apart from the Spurs game. Please score Kane, says Nian. Good question from Kilpo. He says, realistically, how good are Southampton? They're a bottom half team. They won't get relegated, but they're bottom half. They'll finish like 14th or something like that. Someone's got to do it. Oh, Newcastle scored in the second half, didn't they? Yes, of course they did. It felt like they scored 2 in the first half, to be fair. I mean, they'll end up... I mean, if Newcastle end up drawing that game... I think Ronaldo will start tomorrow, says Hashia. Your worst game memory supporting Man United is Frentas. It's always that Man City thing. It was very hard to take, Aguero moment. I didn't like losing the Champions League final in Rome either against Barcelona. I think we could have won that. Do you see us selling James Gardner? I think we'd like to, Jack. I think we'd like to loan him, but I think we'll have to keep him. Villa are flopping again, says Captain. I mean, look, I predicted Villa would have a good start to the season, a good season, but, you know, that's always the risk. Gerrard did well at Rangers. Villa are an ambitious club. He's been backed. If he doesn't do well, he'll get sacked. He'll get sacked. Jason says, do you think Ronaldo could win the Golden Boot? Well, if he can score 18 goals in a crap side, imagine what he can do in a half-decent side. So he could do it. We should be more attacking under Ten Hag. Jason says Forest need a shot on target before they score. Benson and Hedges on Saturday after the win, says Kyle. It's just dominance from Spurs, to be fair. They've absolutely dominated this game. Any more Incy content on United stances, Alexander? It's just difficult because he's down in Reading. So, you know, he's got to train the team in the morning and stuff like that. So, yeah, which is great for him. But it makes it difficult for us to do sort of content as well. Also, I don't think he can speak as freely as he used to because he's now a manager. It's like Lampard was a pundit, wasn't he, before he went and took a job. When you become a manager, it's a bit less difficult, a bit more difficult. Apparently, the lineups are out for Everton and Chelsea. Let me just give you them now, just in case you want to know. Everton have got Pickford, Patterson, Tarkowski, Mina, Godfrey, Mikalenko, McNeil, Iwobi, Decore, Gray, and Gordon. I mean, it looks like a team that's going to get relegated, doesn't it? Chelsea have got Mendy, Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Koulibaly. Chilwell, James, Kante, Jorginho, Havertz, Mount, and Sterling. Cucurella is on the bench. I've made a right error there. Talk about Cucurella. I've made a right error. He's in my fancy Premier League team. I bet he'll come on for like in 5 minutes or something stupid like that. Leeds have scored 2-1 to Leeds. They're leading against Wolves. 74 minutes. Good time to score. Could be a good result for Leeds here. Wolves were 1-0 up, but Leeds have come back. Wolves are letting me down, conceding goals here. Tuchel or Conte, third best manager in the Prem, or someone else, says Jordan. Well, no, I think it is a battle between those two. Good result for Leeds on the opening day if they win that, to be fair. Stoke are beating Blackpool 2-0. That Everton team does look a bit like a Burnley team. Well, they have got a couple of Burnley players, haven't they? McNeil and Tarkowski. But yeah, I don't fancy Everton today. Mark, what will Chelsea do with De Jong? Is he not very similar to Jorginho? Could we get Jorginho if he goes? Says Michael. Oh, yeah, great. I'd love to take the player that Chelsea want to sell for the player that we want to buy. Love living in the shadow of Chelsea. I never did see Newcastle. I think Shaw must have not got an assist off his. I like Jorginho, and he is better than anything that we've got. I'm not doing Chelsea versus Everton, no. As I've said about a million times. I need to eat, and I've got to do United Stand at 5 o'clock. So, and then I've got to do on TalkSport at 7:30. If you want to tune in and watch on YouTube, or get your questions in, or ring in, tune in for that straight after. Everton, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will win that though. I just can't. I think Everton. It's weird because when I watched Lampard managing Derby, I thought he was quite a progressive manager. But you look at the teams that he's built at Everton, and it looks like a very, pragmatic. I mean, you could look. What I would say is, if you're an Everton fan and you sack Lampard, I'd go and get Sean Dyche. Like, that team looks like a very hard-working team, and I think that Dyche would probably get more out of it if you struggle with Lampard. Aronson scored for Leeds, by the way. Well, Villa are staring down the defeat barrel here. I'm very surprised, but they are. There's another goal at Newcastle. There's a goal at Newcastle, everybody, or something's happening at Newcastle. I don't know what it is. Something's about to happen. It's 2-0. Goal scorer downloading unless you're watching. It's Wilson. It's Joel Linton. It's St. Maximin with an assist. Maybe. But it's 2-0. It's game over there. It's a soft penalty, apparently. Callum Wilson got the goal. 2-0. Game over there. I'll tell you the bonus points scorers for the Spurs game in a minute if you're interested in the FPL. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner, on the road to 725,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Really enjoyed the opening weekend to the Premier League so far. Man United tomorrow against Brighton. We'll be covering that on the United Stand. Bournemouth are 2-0 up as well. Over Villa. I can't believe it. I really had a feeling that Bournemouth would win. That's why I predicted Villa would. 2-0, game over. Newcastle 2-0. Wilson, Joel Linton got the assist. Oh, fuck off. Nothing for Saint Maximin then. So newly promoted Fulham with a point, newly promoted Bournemouth with 3 points, and newly promoted Nottingham Forest with 0 points. They've done all three, the new teams today. That's a bad result for Villa. 2-0 to Bournemouth. Villa fans won't be happy with that. Does it get any easier for Villa? They go to a home game against Everton next Saturday lunchtime, and they follow it up with a trip to Crystal Palace. So they won't be happy with that, the Villa fans. I mean, it's not intimidating at Bournemouth. They can only get 11,000 people in as well. I've jinxed them, haven't I? I said Villa were my prediction for it to be a surprise package. I didn't say what sort of a surprise package it would be. You know, I think everyone thought, you know, you open up your surprise package and it's something nice. It could be a big turd. A lot of people in the chat are very, very confused and terrified by the fact that Harry Kane has not got any points in Fantasy Premier League. But that's the case, I'm afraid. He's got no points. Think of me. I've got Matty Cash and Collins of Wolves. They've done sod all. And I've got St. Maximin, who's done sod all as well. So I've had 3 players get me 5 points. In relation to the Spurs game, your bonus points would be Kulusevski, Emerson Royale, and Dyer at the moment. They're the top 3 players. In the Newcastle game, it's Shaw, Targay, and Trippier. In the Bournemouth game, it's Kelly of Bournemouth, Lerma of Bournemouth, and Moore of Bournemouth, and Mepham. He's got 29 as well. What was the other game that we played this afternoon? Leeds and Wolves. Shaw, Targay, and Trippier. Oh, no, I've done that one. Clicking on the wrong thing. Leeds and Wolves, Rodrigo, Podence, and Hwang. I've got the points in that one. But the scores, 2-0 to Bournemouth against Villa, 2-1 to Leeds against Wolves, 2-0 to Newcastle. All the home teams winning at the moment. Tottenham 4-1 up against Southampton. So it's a blanket of home wins here. Five minutes to go. Kane doesn't score in August, says Kawang. I'm on the United stand at 5 o'clock. I've got an update on United. We're going to be talking Sane, Gakpo, Sesko. 3 big updates on that. Make sure you tune in on United Stands at 5 o'clock. Hello, Marcus. Kane played well. I think Spurs have played well in general. I think Kane's a little bit unlucky not to have actually registered on the assist or the goal sheet, but it's just one of them days, isn't it? You know, you'd probably bet good money that if Spurs score 4 goals and Harry Kane plays 90 minutes, he'd get a goal or an assist at least. And it's just one of those games where it's not happened. I don't know what to say about that. It's just the way it's gone. Mora's coming on for Spurs. Villa 2-0 down, says Jason Morris. Yeah. Am I doing tomorrow's game, says Ashley? Yes, but it'll be on the United stand. I'm doing United Brighton. It's impossible to do any watch-alongs tomorrow because by the time the United game finishes, I have to do the match reaction and the player ratings, and Man City will have already kicked off. So I will watch it, but I won't be doing a watch-along for it. So please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, really enjoying the That's Football streams we've done so far. Fantastic with the graphics and stuff as well. Very interactive. So hope you've enjoyed it as well. Look, Arsenal fans are very positive about their start to the season. Spurs fans are very positive about their start to the season. They're both very hopeful about what they can achieve. What I find funny about Spurs and Arsenal is that they seem to be dreaming the same dream and walking the same path. Both of them were fighting for 4th last year, and both of them are starting the season with some promise this year. So are they going to have another season where they're just battling with each other for whatever could have a title race, North London derby? We're not going to have that. Mark, in my opinion, Spurs have the best front three in the league, but I get a lot of stick for it, says Connor. I think they've got the best balanced front three. Like Salah's better than any of those players. There's no doubt about that. But they've got the best balanced front three. And therefore, they've arguably got the best front three. Looks like all these games are starting to just peter away a little bit now. But we've had a lot of goals anyway. No game without a goal. And an average of over 2 per game. I agree with Shadow. I think Spurs did fantastically well to get Kulusevski. I mean, what's his value? I mean, he's Premier League proven in the space of 6 months. It's going to be weird seeing Raheem Sterling in a Chelsea shirt. I mean, he's had a very good career. Liverpool. He was part of the SSS, wasn't he? Didn't he play with Suarez and Sterling and was it Sturridge? That's how long ago he played. Man City and then Chelsea. Reading are still winning 2-1. Bristol are losing to Sunderland. Sorry, Drawty. 3-2. Burnley 1-1 with Luton. QPR now 3-2 with Middlesbrough. They were 3-0 up. Blackburn 3-0 away to Swansea. Stoke 2-0 up against Blackpool. Sheffield United 2-0 up against Millwall. But there's no way back for any of these teams now. Maybe Wolves could grab a late point. Villa are going to lose. Southampton are going to lose. And Forest are going to lose. I'm looking forward to United tomorrow, yeah. Like any fan, you're excited, aren't you? Looking forward to the start of a new season. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think we will win. There's nothing wrong with that. We're at home. Brighton. Without Cucurella, without Bissouma. I think interesting, both those players on the bench as well. Bissouma on the bench. I mean, can Bissouma... I think Bissouma's a good signing, but can he get a starting place? Bentancur and Højbjerg, he's got to win his place first. Is Garner going on loan, says AJ. And God Henke says, thanks for all the content, Mark, both on the United stand and That's Football. Just had to say Henderson is leaking goals for Forest just as he leaks info at United. I think he made a few saves today, to be fair, but still lost. Apparently, Basuma had a hamstring injury this week, says Slim Dog. But I still think it'll be difficult for him to start games. But having said that, 5 subs, loads of Champions League games for Spurs. You can't pick the same 2 midfielders every game. So rotation will be key. Pig says Basuma is average and wouldn't make any difference to United. Have you watched Scott McTominay play football, mate? You'll change your mind when you do. Maguire for golden boots, is Catherine. Well, if anyone's been watching my FIFA career mode, you could do a Varane. 3 goals in 3 games. Kane's fell off, says Harry. Kane always has a struggle in August, to be fair. I'm not telling you my fantasy Premier League score so far, Matt. It was all going really well till 3 o'clock. And then some maximum, Matty Cash and Collins of Wolves all let me down. I doubt I've got 40 points, maybe 41. But I don't think anybody's done great. I can't imagine anybody's done really well because a lot of the big scorers, not a lot of people have. So, which is good in a way. Is it full time yet? Nearly. You reckon Welbeck will score tomorrow, Goldie? Probably will, with Harry bungling at the back. He's fast, satisfies the customer. I think it'll be a good game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. It's finished between Spurs and Southampton. It finishes 4-1. A comfortable win there. And obviously, Bournemouth are going to beat Villa 2-0. They're well into added time, sorry. Newcastle, well into added time, 2-0 there. And Leeds well into added time against Wolves. So I'm going to end it there because it's been a long day. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget at 7:30, Talk Sport YouTube channel or on the radio. Brand new show talking about all the action from today. So please support us and tune in for that. And I'm going to be on United Stand in about 8 minutes talking about this Sesko, Sane, Gakpo story. So I'll see you on there in a bit as well. Thanks everybody for watching. Speak to you in a bit.